Hello everybody, welcome back to the Sachsenring, day 2 here and race 2 coming up for the BMW M2 Cup. Just 3 races to go in the championship. Yesterday, Leighton Fury picked up his 3rd consecutive race win to extend his championship lead. He's on the front row of the grid again today, starting 2nd. Alongside him on his pole position for the 3rd time this season will be Max Rosam, looking for his 1st win of the season. We're looking forward to the race. Let's go down on the grid now though and hear from Verena Reet.
Hello everyone, here we are at the Sachsenring, and let me tell you, it is a wonderful summer day once again. Blue skies, it is hot, and we're looking forward to a very, very hot race, that's for sure. And before we talk to the drivers, let's have a look at yesterday's race. So we saw a lot of action there yesterday in the race, and we're looking forward to another exciting race today. Obviously, the BMW M2 Cup is all about the young talents, and it's a phenomenal concept that's behind it. And we want to talk about that today with the ADAC, and I'm happy to have the head of the motorsport of the ADAC here today, Thomas Voss. Wonderful having you here. So what do you think about the concept? I mean, it's all embedded into the DTM platform. What do you think of it?
Yes, I think it's the most important things to have young talented drivers for DTM all over the years, not only for 1 year, but for the next, I hope, 10, 12, 15 years, and they can grow in the M2 Cup. Therefore, it's very, very important for DTM itself, but even though for ADAC GT Masters and GT4, it's a grassroots sport, and the talents get to know how to use data recording, to use a high-powered engine, rear-wheel drive car with the GT racing, of course. And so it's very important for our series, as support series, and even to know that BMW as manufacturer is supporting the series. It's very important for DTM.
So we hear a lot of commitment there from the ADAC. That's wonderful. And also, are you impressed with these young talents? Their driving skills are just already at this point amazing, right?
Yeah, of course. I know that many of them learned how to race in karting or even in sim racing, but this is for them the next step, and the next step in their career. They all want to be professional racing drivers, and it's a very important step for them. And the sport is amazing, and it's hard sport, and they learn to drive, to be a real DTM driver, to be really professional, not only behind the wheel, but also outside of the car.
All right, well, Thomas Voss, thank you so much, and we're going to have a talk to the drivers. Thank you very much. And now the man who is leading the championship, the BMW M2 Cup, is Leighton Fury, and he's just on a run. I mean, it's just going so well for him. And today you're starting in P2, so what are you going to do to maybe get a victory out of this?
Yeah, I mean, victory is maybe not the first priority. We really have to look at the championship. We know how Max wants that first win really badly, so I think I really just have to play with my head a little bit and yeah, just make sure that we bank some points for the championship. So that's really first priority, so let's see what comes.
But I mean, it's going really well, and there are only a few more races, 3 I think altogether. So at this point, focusing on every single race or even the championship?
Well, we take one race by race, but you know, at the same time, you got to think about the whole aspect of it. Sure, we want to go into Red Bull Ring with a comfortable lead, but at the same time, we don't want to lose that lead. So it's a bit of both, but at the same time, we have to really just make sure that this championship is secured.
All right, well, Leighton, best of luck for the race. See you later on the podium, hopefully. And now I want to go to P4 because we've got Danny Band there sitting in the car. all eager to get racing. And yeah, this man is also very focused, obviously, because he wants to do really well in the race, because starting in P4 is always a good position as well. So, Danny, how can you do it that hopefully we'll see you later on the podium?
We will see. First we will race.
And all in all, I mean, the Sachsenring is challenging, but do you like this racetrack?
Of course. It's a beautiful track. Up and down, a good flow. I like it.
All right. You continue focusing on the race. Best of luck for the race. And now we're going to go to P5, and we've got Bart Horsten here. And let's see how this young man is doing, because obviously, I mean, it is so hot here today, and these guys and girls are sitting in the car ready to get racing. But Bart, how are you doing? And starting from P5 is going to be tough, but what are you going to make out of this race?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks. I'm not sure, to be honest. It's a tricky old track, and anything could happen around here like we saw yesterday. So I'm just going to focus on what I can do and try and move forward.
But talking to a lot of the drivers, I mean, most of the drivers really love the Sachsenring. Are you one of the guys who say it's one of my favorite racetracks?
Yeah, definitely. It's a very unique challenge and different to a lot of the other tracks we race on. So it's a privilege to be here, and really good fun.
And are we going to see you on the podium later on?
Well, I certainly hope so, and that's what I'm going to be pushing for. But it's not easy when you've got a lot of competition with the other guys and girls on the grid.
And one more question. Speaking of, it's not easy. I mean, especially talking about the racetrack itself here. I mean, it's very tricky, right? Also in regards to the grip.
Yeah, definitely, and how the tyres will change over the race will be an interesting challenge.
Interesting challenge. All right, well, you do it. I hope you get to ace it, and best of luck for the race. And so, yeah, let's get these guys to focus. Let's get the door closed, because they're getting ready to race, and we're looking forward to a very, very exciting race. So let's do it. Let's get racing. Here, your commentators. Enjoy.
Thanks very much, Verena. Verena Vriek down there on the grid, then catching up with some of the drivers, and good to hear from Thomas Voss as well, the head of motorsport for the ADAC. My name's Chris Hartley. I'm going to be talking you through the action. It's another 30-minute plus one-lap race coming up. And Max Rosam on pole position like he was yesterday. Yesterday, a big battle between him and this young man, Leighton Fury, through the first couple of corners. And Leighton on the grass and almost taking out advertising audiences. He determinedly got up the inside. They ran side by side for 2 or 3 corners, but eventually Leighton got through into the lead and went on to take the victory. Max Rosam, though, looking for his first win, will be determined not to let that happen again. Also looking for his first win is this young man, the Czech driver Jan Mateus. He's had 1 pole position this year. That was at the Sachsenring. That ended in disaster at turn 1 for him. He's been on the podium, but he's looking for a win. He starts from 3rd spot on the grid. We've got Denny Baird, who you heard from in the number 8 car. He starts 4th. He had a 3-place grid penalty yesterday from qualifying on Friday, where he didn't see a car coming in the mirrors, and there was almost a collision between him and Gianni van der Kratz. Bart Horsten, 2nd in the championship, starting 5th on the grid, a little bit higher up than he started yesterday. Colin Berninghuizen finally got his first podium after coming close a number of times. That was last time out at the Sachsenring, but qualifying didn't go so well for Colin, so can only manage 7th place yesterday. 7th on the grid today is Claudia Henning. Now, she had her best qualifying of the season so far yesterday, 4th on the grid. Your fastest lap time in qualifying sets the grid for race 1. Each driver's 2nd fastest lap time is the one that sets the grid for race 2. So she's a bit further back today. She lost ground early on yesterday and dropped out of the top 4. The blonde hair there, you just saw the head of Project One, and very much the man behind this championship, Hans Bernd Kamps, the championship founder, and this BMW M2 Cup with these fantastic cars, these BMW M2 CS cars, based on the road-going car, but very much the race spec car. They produce around about 365 brake horsepower, 3-litre engines. They run on slick Goodyear tyres, big 18-inch wheels on them, 7-speed paddle shift gearboxes. And for those of you new to BMW M2 Cup, one of the key points is this is all about the driving, and it's a case of the drivers drive a different car each weekend. So all the cars are provided by BMW and by Project One. They're all brought to the circuits. They all come with their own team of race engineers that stick to each car. But in a few days before each race weekend, the numbers are drawn out of a hat and a car is allocated to a driver. So you are not always, but pretty much in a different car for every round of the championship to keep things as even as possible. And as we've heard, it's all about developing these young talents. It's a pyramid that BMW have set up to get these drivers up then from this foundation level into GT4, eventually, ultimately up to GT3 and competing in championships such as the DTM. So there's the front row of the grid. Max Rosam and Leighton Fury were separated by just 4 thousandths of a second in qualifying on second fastest lap times, closest gap we've had this year. Matthias and Bernd start on the second row of the grid and will be ones to watch as well. So too will Bart Horsten second in the championship. Colin Jamie Berninghausen from 6th on the grid, a bit higher up than he was yesterday. Claudia Henning and Senna van Sola next up. Senna lost 2 or 3 positions in the closing lap or 2 of the race yesterday, so he'll be coming forward in this one, I reckon. Robbie McAfee and Luca Tim Link are next up, 9th and 10th. Julius de Niesen was the only retirement yesterday, the Danish ex-Formula 4 racer. Gianni van der Kratz is a guest driver for the second weekend running. Adrian Rushdi and Louisa Carla start next, 13th and 14th. Louisa in her first season of car racing. And then it's Carmen Krav and Esme Kosterman, who makes her debut this weekend in the number 65 car, a driver that's come from the Fiesta Sprint Cup in the Netherlands, which a number of the other drivers have competed in the past, including Senna van Sola. She currently runs third in that championship, and she's hoping to finish second in the points, or move into second in the points next weekend at Zandvoort. But a big step up for her from Fiestas and front-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive at a circuit she's not familiar with, and it's all about just getting the learning experience for Esme, but she's very much enjoying it when I spoke to her earlier in the weekend. So championship-wise, there are 20 points up for grabs for a race win, and there are 3 races to go. So 60 points from that. There's also 3 points if you qualify on pole position. There's another qualifying session to come. That's only for the fastest lap, not for second fastest lap times. So after today, there will be 43 points potentially available. So championship can't be won today, but Leighton Fury could give himself a nice advantage at the moment. The South African is 15 points clear on 147. Bart Horsten second on 132, but behind him on the grid for this one. And then you got Max Rosam coming up fast after yesterday's second place finish. He also got points for the fastest lap yesterday. For qualification in the fastest lap. So he's only 22.5 points behind. Half points because there was a half points race at the Nürburgring. It wasn't completely run to full distance. Denny Bernd still in with a chance, but he's got to close the gap in this race, otherwise he's going to drop out of contention potentially. He's 42 points behind, and there'll only be 43 available after today, so it could be that only 3 drivers go to the final round in 2 weeks' time at the Red Bull Ring with a chance of winning the championship. We'll find out, though, as we tackle this 3.6-kilometre anti-clockwise roller coaster of a circuit. A wonderful track. For my money, one of the best tracks in Europe. The drivers all love it. It's a real challenge at the back of the circuit. There are some super high-speed corners that are flat out, but only just about flat out. Bravery required. There's some blind entry points. And yesterday, we had some really good driving from these young charges, all looking to establish themselves in motorsport. The red lights come on. They go straight out, and we go racing for the second time at the Sachsenring, and it's a good start again for Leighton Fury in the number 46 car. He's got the inside line. I think he's going to get the lead of the race from Max Rosam, a little bit easier than yesterday, but a great start as well in the black car for Bart Horsten, trying the outside line from 5th on the grid. He's going to be 4th, maybe 3rd. It's going to be 3rd place, so a terrific start for him. It's Leighton Fury that leads, Max Rosam in 2nd. Bart Horsten gains 2 places, gets himself straight up then into 3rd place. Denny Bernd 4th. Jan Matthäus dropping back from 3rd to 5th, going the other way. So great start from the Australian Bart Horsten, who came up through single-seater racing, was a race winner in British F4, raced in the GB3 Championship as well, has been a simulator driver for the Aston Martin Formula 1 team, based in the UK, comes from Perth, and it's his 2nd season of the BMW M2 Cup. So just what he needed, a great start, but a really good start again for Leighton Fury, who is looking for a 4th consecutive race win after 2 victories at the Lausitz-Ring and a victory yesterday at the Sachsenring. He's also had 4 wins altogether and 7 podiums this season. He's on a real roll. In fact, he's had 5 consecutive podium finishes. No, maybe that's 6 consecutive podium finishes. So the cars make their way through the high-speed section now into Sector 3, downhill through the waterfall, into that left-hander at turn 12. and then it's a little bit downhill into a valley, and then uphill you begin to climb into the final turn. Then it's a steep uphill climb out of that turn there. We've got Senna van Serle going side by side with Colin Jamie Berninghausen. Senna kissing the gravel in the yellow number 24 car, the Dutch driver. Side by side still though with Colin Jamie Berninghausen as they go absolutely neck and neck over the start-finish line in the battle for 6th place. Max Rozam has a little look at the inside of Leighton Fury. You got Robbie McAfee having a look as well in the 22 car. He gets alongside Colin Jamie Berninghausen now. The Australian still side by side, but then just drops back a little bit through turn 2 into the right-hander at turn 3, and Berninghausen just about fends him off. They've got Luca Link just behind as well in the 33 car, making a decent start to the race to go from 10th up to 9th. Luca, who is a regular in the top 10 of late. Good consistent points finisher. It's his first season of car racing as well. So the best result of 5th so far. So we'll see if he can improve upon that today. But it is Fury that leads from Rozam, Horston next up, Bernd in 4th, Matthias in 5th, and then Senna van Serle having this battle with Colin Jamie Berninghausen, the Dutch driver versus the German driver. Colin in the green 55 car, coming up over the crest through turn 10. They turn right and attack the corner. They can't see the corner till they get there because of that peak, and then it's a steep downhill drop flat out through turn 11. Look at the undulation change here, and cars run out wide there, hard on the brakes down, using all the grip from the Goodyear slick tyres as they go into turn 12. Still nose to tail in that battle for 6th place. Leighton Fury just edging away a little bit at the moment. Robbie McAfee still just about fending off the number 33 of Luca Link, and then you've got Claudia Henning coming into the battle as well in car 23. Bit wide for Robbie. Had a trip through the gravel yesterday and dropped down the order after having a good qualifying session, but he did make some ground back up in the second half of the race. Matthias, number 57, going wheel to wheel with number 8, Denny Bernd, in the battle for 4th place, trying the outside line at turn 1, which is more or less a hairpin. Robbie McAfee, Luca Link and Claudia Henning still having their huge battle here for 8th, 9th and 10th positions respectively. Down into turn 3 they go. This is a steep uphill climb as well. It's the slowest corner this. As they come out of here, it's a really steep uphill climb all the way up through turns 4, 5, 6 and 7 before you begin another downhill, very rapid descent through the left-hander. Some of them running wide into the next gravel trap here on qualifying as they went flat out for half an hour on Friday late afternoon. And there you can see the cars easily run wide because all the weight's transferred over to the front wheels, over the front axle. The back end of the cars become light on that drop downhill through the left-hander. And of course, as the race goes on, the cars will get lighter of fuel. They'll also have less grip available to them as the tyres get worn, so it becomes a real battle to hang on to the car. Robbie McAfee, though, doing a good job to fend off that pressure that was coming from behind from both Link and Henning. And for now, the Australian, although he smokes the tyres a bit on the way to turn 12, I was going to say he has a bit of breathing space, but that's gone straight away. So easy to get that braking point a little bit wrong. And in the background, Claudia Henning is now having to work hard to fend off Julius de Neeson. And there, the number 84 car of Gianni van der Kratz having a go at number 12, the yellow car of Adrian Rushny. Watching his tail, though, because Luisa Carla is just behind in the number 13 car. Louisa, just 17 years of age. She comes from Dortmund, and she's in her first season of car racing, former kart racer. But there in the number 13 car, Louisa won a shootout that was opened up to kart racers to give them a chance to come and race in the BMW M2 Cup by Thiel and Hoch. She won that shootout. She had a chance to race in the championship, and she's been going well this season. Look at that, though, number 95, Julius de Neeson, the Danish driver, getting into the battle, getting into the mix, trying to find a way past Claudia Henning here, but nothing doing at this sequence of corners, really. It's difficult to overtake through turns 4, 5 and 6. Apply the pressure, follow your leader here. All you can do is try and force the driver ahead to go as fast as they can, wear their tyres out, make mistakes, and then have an opportunity maybe later in the race. Fury's lead at the head of the field has grown to half a second. Rozam is himself half a second clear of Horston in 3rd, so it's stalemate at the moment between the top 3. Denny Bernd just under half a second adrift in 4th place. Matthias 3/10 behind him in 5th position. But as ever, in the BMW M2 Cup, there are battles all the way down the order. And look at this from Luca Link, braving it around the outside of turn 12, sliding, almost going into the gravel trap, committed, he stays on the throttle. McAfee's got the inside line. He's going to have to commit to this now, though. Also, he'll lose a place here to Luisa Carla, still trying to hang on around the outside is Luca Link. That was brave stuff. It didn't quite pay off, but it might at the next corner. He's got his foot in the door. He can see the inside line. He's not ahead, he's behind. But no, the door closes as they get to the braking zone, and McAfee fends him off, but then the door opens up, and Luca Link loses a place to Claudia Henning. She goes wide on the brakes. He comes back down the inside. There's contact, and around goes Claudia Henning. Luca Link is there as well, collected, and really unlucky as Adrian Rouchny is sent off into the barrier in the number 12 car. It was nothing to do with him. He was just behind the incident. And Adrian in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's damage to the side and the back of Claudia Henning's car and smoke coming from it, and that is a retirement, I'm afraid. Two cars battling away. She's going to pull off just off the circuit as well in a precarious position, and I suspect we might be getting a safety car because of that. So a real unfortunate incident that, especially I would say for Adrian Rouchny. It was nothing to do with him. He was just behind it. He couldn't avoid it, couldn't get through. He was triggered when Henning dived down the inside into turn one to try and get past Link. She just overcooked it a bit. He came back down the inside. There's confirmation that the safety car is going to come out. And then the two of them fought position on the way down into turn two. And there the contact. And it was a T-bone, wasn't it, in the end, with Claudia Henning's car at a 90-degree angle in front of Luca Link's car, and everybody else then getting caught out in it behind. So the BMW safety car is deployed. Everybody else will bunch up behind it once they get there. There's also like an awful lot of gravel on the circuit on the way out of turn one down to turn two. And the marshals will want to sweep that up because that's going to be incredibly slippery. So you've got the two stricken cars of number 23, Claudia Henning, which is just off the circuit, just out of shot beneath the camera position on the edge of the gravel trap. And poor old Adrian Rouchny there, who had to miss the last round because he was unwell, has come back this weekend, and a really sad way for him to end his visit to the Sachsenring in the number 12 car. So everybody avoiding all that gravel that's been brought back onto the circuit. The marshals pointing them away from it to make sure they don't collect that on their tyres. There may well be some bits of bodywork, some shards of sharp bodywork on the circuit as well, which the drivers want to avoid. And Claudia Henning has moved the car a little bit to the other side of the circuit, but still in a precarious position. Replay then. Henning, number 23, dives down the inside of Link, just overcooks it. He understandably comes back down the inside. The door closes. There's contact. And because of the angle of the corner, because of the downhill run and the lightness of the rear wheels, around she went and just collected with the back of the car. Adrian Rouchny, who was really unlucky to get caught up in that. From a different angle, you see how it all triggered off. And Julius Denison, number 95, just behind, just avoided it all. Quick reactions from him, actually, to take to the gravel to avoid it. And there, if he'd been maybe 10 centimetres to the left, Adrian Rouchny might have got away with that, but it was just very unfortunate as Henning's car rolled back into his front right corner and took out the number 12 BMW. So they're going to investigate that, the stewards, after the race. That's come up on the screen, the incident between Luca Link and Claudia Henning. That ends what had been a very promising weekend for Claudia, having qualified in fourth place. Claudia Henning with the best result of 7th so far this season. She had a bit of a awful weekend really at the Nürburgring with the bad weather affecting things there. 2 retirements. Retired in the second race at the Norris Ring as well, so she had 3 retirements on the trot, but Lausitz Ring was a really good weekend for her. Best finished in 7th place in race 1, 10th in race 2. She was 8th yesterday, probably a bit disappointed with that, having started on the second row of the grid, but she has had those 3 good top 10 finishes. That has now, I'm afraid, come to an end, those 2 cars retiring from the race. Driver's okay though, which is the key thing. So driver's okay. Claudia Henning there, you can see out of the car. Adrian Rouchny out as well. And while the incident is being swept up, we can go down to the pit lane now and get some reaction from Verena Vrit.
And I'm here with Hans-Bernd Kamp, the founder of BMW M2 Cup, and we just saw an incident there on the racetrack. Maybe you can just kind of talk us through it, what from your point of view happened there.
There has been a lot of circumstances what happened there at the end. I don't know who is to be punished or who is the one who did it, because Luca got from the rear a push, and Claudia went in, and so we have to look very carefully at the pictures. But at the end, could be that it is a race incident.
All right, and in regards to the racetrack, it's a very specific racetrack, and also the gravel is very fine. So how long do you think will it take to actually get everything cleaned up? Because obviously safety goes first.
I don't think that it is too long. The gravel is everywhere, so you have some tracks where you cut the corner and then you have the gravel on the track as well.
So hopefully we'll get racing soon.
Some windscreens we will have at the end. We have to renew, but very soon we will start again, I'm sure.
All right, Hans-Bernd Kamps, thank you so much. Back to you.
Thanks, Verena. Good to hear from Hans-Bernd Kamps, the founder of this championship, a man who's very keen to develop these young driver talents and very much hands-on involved in this, despite the fact that Project One also have a busy time of it, running 2 DTM cars these days with Sandra Olsson and two-time champion Marco Wittmann. He always makes time to get involved in the championship. He's the founder of Project One, a team with multiple championship titles in the Porsche Carrera Cup. So good to hear from Hans-Bernd Kamps. And one of the things, as I say, they're keen to do is develop these young drivers and give them an all-round experience. It's not just about the bit on track and getting behind the wheel of a car. So as I say, when they swap cars each weekend, the mechanics stay with the cars. So you get to work with different race engineers each time and get used to swapping data and developing the setup of a car with different engineers, which is very useful. But they also do things like take the drivers to race control, so they get an understanding of how the race director and the stewards work. You get another replay of this incident here after Claudia Henning had a go at Luca Link down the inside, then drifted wide. He came back to get the place back, and then there was the contact on the way through, and as I say, just unlucky and in the wrong place at the wrong time was number 12, Adrian Rushny. Julius Denisen did well to avoid it. Quick reactions from him. It had to take to the gravel trap in the 95 car. So the Danish driver not only got away with it, but also gained a couple of places as a result of that, which is absolutely fair. All he could do was avoid the collision by going off, so he got past the pair of them. Through he went, Rushny did not, and in the 84 car, Jenny van der Kratz also had to stand on the brakes to get past, so did Louisa Carla just behind. So good reactions from these young drivers, because that could have easily been 4 or 5 cars in a big pile up there. Look how they had to spread wide and stand on the brakes. So good reactions from van der Kratz and also from Louisa Carla there just behind in the 13 car, as they chose the right way to go. There was no option for Adrian Rushny. Couldn't go the other side because there were cars there. He had to take evasive action to the left-hand side. And as I say, 10 centimetres either way, and it'd have been OK. But unfortunately, out of the race. We saw the marshals sweeping up the gravel. Any debris will have been taken care of as well. The car's being removed, so hopefully we'll be back underway at full speed in the not-too-distant future. It's a 30-minute plus 1 lap race. And with the gap having been built to about half a second. Not too impressed with the safety car, I wouldn't think. He's going to be Leighton Fury, but he's a cool customer. He never seems to get flustered by anything, and he'll be okay. Another great start to the race from him, wasn't it? So he's on course for 20 points at the moment to add to his championship tally. Max Rizam, like yesterday, is there and currently on course to score 18 championship points. Fastest lap at the moment is Jan Matthäus. That's a bonus point as well. Bart Horsten, great start to go from 5th up to 3rd. So he's on course for 16 points. Denny Berndt is in 4th place at the moment. That will muster 14 points. Remember, he's got to be within 43 points to have a chance of, or any chance of the championship, Denny Berndt. He was the winner of 2 races at the start of the season at Oschersleben. Claudia Henning getting a lift back to the paddock on the back of a scooter, and Adrian Rushny likewise. Hopefully we'll get a lift back because it's a fair way from there, and it's a very hilly paddock here at the Sachsenring. So with those points, I make it 167 as it stands for Leighton Fury, 148 for Bart Horsten. So the gap will go out to 19 points, with 43 still available at the Red Bull Ring, 24.5 behind Max Rizam. But at the moment, Denny Berndt is going to drop out of the fight because he's 48 points adrift as it stands. And by 5 points, he'll have too much of a mountain to climb. So Denny, if he wants to stay in the championship fight, 4th at the moment in the blue and white number 8 car, he's going to have to go forward. He's going to have to close the gap and not just get himself 1 position. He's going to have to get a couple of places up the order. In fact, 2nd place will give him 4 more points. That won't do it either. He's basically got to win the race, or hope that Leighton Fury doesn't win the race and drops back a bit. Then that might be another way through for him. But at the moment, it looks like we're going to go to the Red Bull Ring with 3 championship contenders. There's also a rookie championship, which involves almost everybody except for Bart Horsten, because he's the only one that's back for a 2nd season, having finished 4th in the championship last year. So Leighton Fury's on, of course, winning that championship as well. Rookie wins. He's had 6 on the trot now. So 6 wins this season, 6 on the trot. He's on for a 7th victory in the rookies. Max Razam on course for 2nd place in terms of the Rookie Cup in this race. And Senna van Sula is the driver that's 3rd in the standings, but he hasn't made any progress yet from 6th on the grid. So he's currently still in 6th position. Denny Burnt in 4th will get 14 points. And Rookie Cup-wise, by my maths, all unofficial list, but as it stands, 158 points for Leighton Fury, 141 for Max Razam, 17 points the difference between them. Senna van Sula just about in it still, 39 points adrift. In fact, he'll drop to 4th behind Denny Burnt. Denny Burnt will go on to 122. So just about as it stands, there'll still be 4 of them in with a chance with the Rookie Cup, but only 3 for the overall championship title. There's a great drone shot then to give you a heads-up view of this wonderful Sachsenring circuit, trailing the cars around here, which are behind the safety car at the moment. Clock continues to tick down in this 30-minute race. Less than 13 minutes now to go, plus 1 lap. So whenever the clock runs out, there'll be 1 more lap after that one. And Leighton Fury just trying to stay focused and concentrated here. Of course, it's less time for him to defend the lead of the race, but he's also then got to deal and cope with the restart, which he should be okay to do. Max Razam will be frustrated that he couldn't quite get it off the line. Max in the number 5 car has had 4 second-place finishes so far this year, 2 third places as well. He just hasn't quite got that race victory, and he's one of the drivers, one of the few that know this circuit, because Max raced in GT4 last year and has raced at the Sachsenring before. He also used to drive in the BMW 318 TI Cup. It was a very popular series in Germany, and he and his dad still run a team in that championship, I understand. So you saw the marshals now beginning to, the cars together, tow them out of the way. There's, I think, a gap in the barrier down there at the exit to turn 1, so I think it'll take long to get them off the circuit. But it might be another lap, maybe 2, behind the safety car. And they've also been pointing the drivers to the right through that corner, as they're still doing, because there's still some gravel to be swept up there. There was quite a bit of carnage, wasn't there? So yeah, there is a little gap there behind the White's recovery car that they can tow the number 12 Adrian Rujny car into. And there, on the left of your picture, you can see Claudia Henning's car, which has been pulled to a safer point as well. So not sure it'll be the end of this lap. I hope at the end of the one after we'll be able to get racing back up to speed. So Leighton Fury leading the way, having started 2nd, got into 1st position, and he really did arrive in Europe with a bang on a cold, dark weekend at Hockenheim last October, when he joined in as a guest for the final weekend of the championship, and by his 2nd time out he got himself a podium. Really impressive in qualifying, and he's carried on that form in his first full season of the championship. Leighton comes from Johannesburg in South Africa, and he'll be looking to follow in the footsteps of the Van der Linde brothers, Kelvin and Sheldon, perhaps one day into DTM and into GT3 racing. He certainly seems to have the talent to do that. It's a long way to go yet before he can think about that, but the way he's coped with the pressure and dealt with things this year, he certainly seems to have a wise head on his shoulders, and helpfully, the key thing, he's also a very rapid driver. And he's also got plenty of experience of winning championships already, so it might be his first season in the BMW M2 Cup. Leighton Fury has already been successful back home in South Africa last year, winning the Global Touring Car Super Cup Championship, and he was the VW Polo Cup champion in 2021, something that Van der Linde's achieved as well before they came to live in Germany and race in the DTM and race at the Nürburgring 24 hours and things like that. Right, we have the safety car in, we've got green flags, we've got the race back underway. The perfect restart for Leighton Fury, but not the perfect restart for Max Razam, who's down the inside on the way to turn 1 by the black number 50 car of Bart Horston. So he's now gone from 5th up to 2nd place. Great start, the great restart from Bart. So Max Razam will be really frustrated now. Pole position, down to 3rd place. And look at this, Colin Jamie Bernighausen up the inside of Senna van Sula as they battle away once again for 6th place. And the German driver through, trying to get back at him. And almost making contact there was the yellow 24 car of van Sula. And then he has to defend from Robbie McAfee in the blue number 22 car. But a good move that from Colin Jamie Bernighausen to get himself up into the top 6. So he pushes on now to try and bridge the gap to that first group of 5 cars. Ferrari the leader, Rozam second, Horston in third, Bent in fourth, and Matthias running in 5th place, looking for another decent finish here. You can see Senna Van Seur is pretty desperate to get that place, that 6th place, back away if he can from the German driver, and he might have some chances in this race. We've also got Robbie McAfee having to keep an eye on the mirrors with Julius Denison just behind him, the Danish driver, but no change of position on the way into turn 12. So with that, Bart Horston picks up 2 more championship points. He's going to score 18 instead of 16. Look at this, Julius Denison trying to come around the outside of Robbie McAfee, and he's almost going to do this. This is brave stuff. That will give him the inside line for the next turn. He's got his nose ahead. And that was a really good move from Julius Denison. If he can just finish the job now on the way into turn 1, but I think he will. Yeah, he's got there. And watch out for Gianni van der Kratz. Gianni down the inside of Robbie McAfee as well. He gets a tap up from behind the Australian, which tips the back end of the car around a bit. So that was all looking a bit leery for Robbie. Did he survive? Yes, but he has lost that place to Van der Kratz with some opportunistic driving from the Dutch guest driver in the 84 car. But that was a really impressive move from Julius Denison. We saw Luca Link trying something similar and didn't quite pull off before the safety car, but that was perfection. A great move from the Danish driver to get himself then up into 8th position. And the leader is off. Leighton Fury is gone. 1.3 seconds clear. Max Rozam has got himself back into 2nd place ahead of Bart Horston. And Bart has now to defend hard here from the number 8 car of Denny Burns, and just behind them Jan Matthäus in the 57 car. So we're determined to at least get a 2nd place out of this. Max Rozam has fought back at the start of the 2nd lap of the restart. Indicator on for Bart Horston. He must have knocked it somewhere in the furious battle and all the frenetic action inside the cockpit. He's still trying to get that place back. Look, he's inching up as they head towards turn 13. He can spy a hole, he can see a gap, and Bart Horston goes back into 2nd place up the inside of Max Rozam. Rozam has got to be careful not to lose another place here to Jan Matthäus. This is brilliant news for the race leader. They're all holding each other up. They can pass the commentary box window. Jan Matthäus absolutely side by side with Denny Burnt now as well. It's going to be Bart Horston 2nd at the moment, but Max Rozam trying to fire one down the inside to get the place back. Terrific move, really late on the brakes for Max Rozam. So he's back into 2nd already. And look, Jan Matthäus is going to sweep around the outside. He's already gone from 5th to 4th. He might be about to go 3rd. No, not quite, because Bart Horston uses his experience to close the door on the way into turn 3. It's also brought into play, look, Colin Jamie Berninghausen and Senna Van Seur, they're right in the mix now. It's a terrific fight here for 2nd place going on. But determined stuff from Max Rozam. He's lost that 2nd place twice, he's got it back twice, but 2.7 seconds behind Leighton Fury now. He's looking in the mirrors and laughing. You fight each other, I'm going to drive quickly and scamper away on course for another race win and more points. So it's only 16 points now for Bart Horston. It's back to, as you were, a 19-point lead in the championship as it stands. It would have come down to 17, but it's going to be 19 if he stays in 3rd place. And every single point counts in this championship. It's going to be a tight finish when we get to the Red Bull Ring. Bart Horston knows it. He said to Verena at the start of the race he's going to go for a podium, but it'll be tough to get there. His great start and his great restart have helped him to be in a chance of getting a podium. He's in 3rd place, but now he's 3rd, he wants 2nd. Racing drivers always want more. Look at this side-by-side just behind, as well as Colin Jamie Berninghausen up the inside of Jan Matthäus. Little nudge, he goes out wide, and then he's going to come under fire from Senna Van Seur as well. They're absolutely side-by-side as they go past the commentary box window, but Matthäus had the inside line. They come towards you. Matthäus in the white 57 car, just fending off Senna Van Seur at the moment, but the Dutch driver braving it around the outside, and he will try and dip down through turn 2, which he does, but he's going to be on the outside line for turn 3 unless he closes the door, and that's exactly what he does. So Matthäus, number 57, the Czech driver, losing 2 places there as a result of that frenetic action out of the last turn and down through turn 1. Let's get a replay then of this move from Colin Jamie Berninghausen. That was a brave move on the way into the final turn. Got the line. Jan Matthäus ran out of road, 2 wheels through the gravel. Not great traction in the gravel, which meant Senna Van Seur was then able to draw alongside him. Not sure if there was contact. There might have been. It was light, but of course at those speeds, at that angle, was enough to send Mateus, if there was contact, into the gravel. Either way, his racing line was stolen. Here's the battle for second. Number 5, Max Rozam, still there, the pole sitter, with Bart Horsten, number 50, who's been ahead of him a couple of times. Behind him for the time being. Goes right, switches to the left. This might work. This might work for Bart Horsten. He's on the curbs, but he's trying to find a line for the next corner. Oh, is there a bit of contact there? Rozam sent wide onto the curbs, almost into the gravel. Here comes Bart Horsten down the inside. Wow, what a battle this is. Fantastic racing from these young drivers in the BMW M2 Cup. Over the brow they come, still fighting side by side. There are 4 of them together now. Almost a dead heat as they go through past the commentary box. Who's got the inside line? Max Rozam. Who's got his nose in front? Bart Horsten. Who's going to give way? Nobody. And in the end, it's Max Rozam that gets there. Second place once again. What a brave effort from both drivers. Denny Burns is having a huge battle with Colin Jamie Berninghausen as well. Colin in the green car, Denny in the blue and white car. Remember, Denny needs to move forward if he's to stay in the championship fight. And then Senna Van Soorla gets up the inside of Colin, so does Jan Mateus. And after all that, Colin ends up losing 2 places. That's how tight it is. Look at them, half the field all absolutely tied together. Good morning, everybody. What a terrific race this is. Oh, wow. And then with nobody to play with, Leighton Fury in a world of his own. He's off 5.5 seconds clear in the 46 car. But we have got fireworks in this battle for second place. And with Rozam, of course, third in the championship, he doesn't want to give any points up. He wants to give himself the best chance at the Red Bull Ring. So a massive fight between him and Bart Horsten for second in the championship, for second in the race as well. Bart Horsten grits his teeth and tries, and Max Rozam drifts the car out wide. You're not coming down the inside of me, he says. Denny Bent watches it all go on just behind in the number 8 car. Nobody makes a move except for Senna Van Soorla and Jan Mateus to defend his position. Jan trying to come around the outside of him. Let's have a look at the inside. Rozam blocking now on the way into the final turn 13 left-hander. Denny Bent might get a good run here in the number 8 car, might get a better run than the 2 ahead of him. So through they come again. We've got 2 minutes to go, plus 1 lap. The race leader looks decided. It looks like it might be a 4th consecutive victory for Leighton Fury. But what about second? Your guess is as good as mine. It is Max Rozam there for the time being. And behind, they're still fighting away as well. Jan Mateus has dropped back now behind Julius Denison. Julius Denison gets into the walls with Colin Jamie Berninghausen. So he gets to the head of that next group of cars now. That moves him into the top 6, but around he goes, spinning at turn 3 into the gravel track for the Danish driver. Julius Denison out of the race. He's going to be stuck in the gravel trap there. A screech of tires as he went around. And I don't think he's going to take any further part. Will that be a safety car is the next question. Let's get a replay. So there was battling away coming through turn 2. Contact between Colin Jamie Berninghausen and Julius Denison. And then, was there contact here or not? Can't tell from that angle on the way into turn 3. This is the head-on camera. And let's have a look. Maybe, can't tell from that angle. I'm sure the driver will tell you whether he had contact or not. But either way, end results into the gravel trap. And they can't believe it on the pit wall. And the race is going to be red flagged. That'll be it, and it won't restart. With less than a minute to go, that's enough to be declared a full points result. You have to get to 75% race distance. We are more than there. Oh, Robbie McAfee having a big moment as well, spinning and almost collecting Luisa Carla. Well, the race results will go back 1 lap as per the last completed lap before the red flags came out. So they won't necessarily be the positions they're in at the moment. They'll count back a lap. But anyone that calls the red flag will drop out of the order. I don't think that will count for Robbie McAfee, so he might actually get away with that and not lose positions. We'll wait for the timing screen to update. But there is absolutely no doubt about the race winner, is that Leighton Fury. There he comes, about 10 minutes before everybody else, because they massively held each other up in that battle for second place. He just got on with it, and he won the race, and he's got another 20 points. That's 4 wins on the trot, 5 wins this season, 8 podium finishes. And he's going to extend his championship lead still further. So on the screen at the moment, Rozam is being shown second, Denny Bent third, Bart Horsten fourth. But we'll see if it stays like that or they count back a lap. But it was mighty, mighty close in that battle for second, third, fourth, fifth, 6 positions. What a terrific race that was. But Leighton Fury with the full house of 20 points. Max Rozam for second will get 18 points. So we'll lose that by another couple. The fastest lap went to Jan Mateus, but he dropped back in the last frenetic lap or so before the red flags came out. red flags after a fight between Colin Jemmy Berninghausen and Julius Denison. That is going to be investigated after the race, it says on the screen, the official screen. So sad end to the race for Julius Denison, who just got himself in that battle, hadn't he? Caught them all up. He started to make ground, got himself up into the top 6, and then it all went wrong for Julius Denison, and into the gravel trap he ended. We lost earlier in the race Adrian Rushny and Claudia Henning, and that wasn't an incident that involved both of those drivers. That was an incident that involved Luca Link and Claudia Henning, but Adrian Rushny got caught out by it and been just behind it. So they held on the pit lane exit. They're being sent back onto the track. So what they're doing here, because we need them on the podium, but it looks like they're being sent back on the track to make their way to the exit point to head back to the paddock. So we'll see exactly what's happening here. But no restart, it says on the screen. That's not the case. We're not going to get a restart. So flashing his lights and celebrating is Leighton Fury off the back of another race win. And depending on the positions, right, okay, the screen has corrected itself now. It's gone back a lap. And Bart Horston got second place. Now, Rozan was ahead, but as they crossed the line, Horston was ahead, and that's what counts. By 95 thousandths of a second, Bart Horston on count back as they went across the line, even though he didn't get to the first corner ahead of Max Rozan, he was ahead at the point at which the timing ends. So by 95 thousandths of a second, Bart gets second place. That means he gets 18 points. Max Rozan gets third and 16 points. Denny Berndt fourth and 14 points. So by my maths, a 17-point lead for Leighton Fury over Bart Horston, with 43 available at the Red Bull Ring. 3 for pole, 20 points for each race victory. 26.5 points behind is Max Rozan in third, still looking for that first win. And 48 points adrift, Denny Berndt. So I think Denny's out of the running now. He needs to be within 43. And it'll be a 3-horse race between Leighton Fury, Bart Horston and Max Rozan for the overall championship title. It is still pretty open, though, in terms of the rookie title, which Bart Horston is not a part of. So second best of the rookies in that race was Max Rozan. He gets 18 points for rookies. Leighton Fury gets 20 and Max Rozan 18. And Denny Berndt third gets 16 in terms of the rookies, with then Senna Van Solo was fifth in terms of the rookies, which would give him 12 points. So that's still a bit more open. It's 17 points for the rookies between Fury and Rozan. 34 behind. Third now is Denny Berndt, and 37 behind Senna Van Solo. So still 4 of them could win the rookies, but I reckon they're all really most bothered about winning the overall championship. And so Leighton Fury, Bart Horston, Max Rozan, your top 3 in the championship, being sent back around again now. Not quite sure what they're meant to be doing, are they? They're being heralded off the circuit. So they didn't come in the pit lane. We've got a Porsche race coming up soon as well. So Porsche mechanics will be soon heading onto the grid. Porsches will still soon be coming there. And it's all got a bit confused out there, hasn't it? So 4 of them have stayed. I think these are the 4. I think everybody else has bailed for the BMW paddock now. And these are the 4 that have got to find their way to the podium now. Well, 3 of them, the top 3 overall. They brought the 3rd rookie in as well, I think, by the look of it. Denny Berndt, who was 4th in the race, but 3rd in the rookies. But actually, the rookies aren't presented with trophies on the main podium. The rookie podium presentation happens after the race, back in the paddock, as does the presentation of the top 3 mechanics, because it's all about teamwork in motorsport, not just about drivers. So sort of having a BMW parade now here on the circuit. It's a chance to enjoy these beautiful cars, isn't it? And get a look at them in the sunshine here. There, I'm afraid, is the stricken car of Claudia Henning after, again, much promise. She's shown great speed in her first season of car racing, Claudia Henning, but the luck was not with her today. So out of the race, she dropped. The car coming together on the way out of turn 1, really, with Luca Link. The car ended up in the gravel down there on the exit to turn 2, almost at turn 3. That was because she limped it there. Rather than that's where the incident took place, and you saw the other stricken car of number 95, Julius Denison, at the gravel trap as well. On count back, he's been put back into the results in 8th place, actually. So on the official screen, Leighton Fury the winner, Bart Horston 2nd, Max Rozan 3rd, even though Max was slightly headed to first corner over the line. He missed out on 2nd place, and Denny Berndt was only 29 thousandths of a second behind Rozan. Remember, 4 of them went across the line together. But on count back, Fury, Horston, Rozan the top 3, Berndt in 4th, Berninghausen in 5th, Van Soler in 6th, Jan Matthäus 7th, Julius Denissen in 8th, Gianni van der Kratz, the guest driver, in 9th, Luca Link in 10th, Louisa Carla 11th, Carmen Krav in 12th, Robbie McAfee had that spin just before the red flag, so he was 13th. Esme Kosterman 14th on her debut weekend, and we lost Claudia Henning, we lost Adrian Rushny as well. So there then, confirmation of the results on screen by almost 5.5 seconds. The South African Leighton Fury getting his second win of the weekend, his 4th consecutive race victory, and his 8th podium of the season. That's 7 podiums on the trot now. The last 7 races he's either won or finished in 2nd place, and that is a great momentum to carry into the final round of the championship at the Red Bull Ring in 2 weeks' time. There you can see the rest of the results as I gave them to you, with those 2 retirements, because technically retiring as well, but on count back at the moment to 8th place was Julius Denissen. So finally, after a couple of parade laps, we get the top 3 back. Glad they didn't run out of fuel. Leighton Fury, Max Rosam and Bart Horston, but not in that order. Not according to the timing screen anyway. Fury, Horston, Rosam, the top 3. I'm not sure the drivers will actually know which way around they were in terms of that 2nd place battle. Rosam will probably think, well, I was 2nd, wasn't I, when the red flags came out, or 2nd when we got to turn 1 at the start of that lap. But they won't have known who was actually nosed in front at the finish line. 4, he says, 4 on the trot, blows a kiss to the camera. Leighton Fury, I mean, there's no doubt who won the race, that is for sure. And there you see confirmation that, good Lord, my maths was right. 17 points between the top 2, 26.5 behind is Rosam, and Denny Bent is out of the running now in 4th place on 119 points. Senna Van Soler on 108, and Jan Matthäus 96 points. They're the top 6 of the overall championship. Leighton also leads the rookie standings, of which Bart Horston is not part. So Max Rosam there will be super disappointed when he realises he's not even 2nd, he's 3rd in that race, at least according to the timing screen. There's Christine Curling, who looks after all the media for the team, and also looks after all the drivers, so gets into the right places at the right time. So big swig of water now for Max Rosam, because even though there were sections of that race run behind the safety car, and then at the end the red flags, it's still a tough race, and great to see the sportsmanship between the 2 drivers there, the 2 of the 3 key championship contenders. Bart Horston, though, he'd be pleased with that one, to get a podium finish from 5th on the grid. Brilliant start to get 2 places off the line initially, and then huge battle with Max Rosam for 2nd place throughout the course of the race. And they overtook each other, I don't know, I lost count, 5-6 times, something like that. And then they also were joined by Denny Baird, Colin Berlinghausen, and Senna Van Soler. Jan Matthäus was in that battle for a long time as well. It was brilliant to watch 6 or 7 cars battling over 2nd place. If anybody's got a photo of when the 4 of them basically crossed the line together, that would be a fantastic photo to go in the archives. But great racing out there. Not having to battle anybody, though, after another mega start off the line. Leighton Fury, he was struggling with his starts a bit at the start of the season. He said to me, I've been working on it, I've been seeing what I did wrong, what I did right. And since the 2nd round of or 3rd round of the season, he's absolutely nailed his starts. 4 on the bounce, he says. 4 wins. What a perfect weekend at the Sachsenring. What a great way to go into the final round of a championship with your nose in front, but also with the momentum well and truly behind him. Well, Thomas Voss, you heard from on the grid, the head of motorsport for the ADAC. He's going to be presenting the 1st place trophy for us. That, of course, is going to go to Leighton Fury. So top 3 drivers there. Blows a kiss once again. Leighton comes through. Max Rosam to the left, puts an arm around Bart Horston. I think they enjoyed the battle, didn't they? There's a big smile on their face. They're talking about that. They loved it. They loved the race. I'll tell you what, chaps, we absolutely loved watching it as well. It was a joy to behold. Great racing once again. I mean, yesterday was good. Today was mega from the BMW M2 Cup. Let's get the drivers then up onto the podium. They're all waiting to find out what happened. Max Rosam has been called, I think, and he's like, me? 3rd? Like, are you called the wrong person up there, saying? Leighton Fury sort of shrugged then and said, what do you mean? Right, okay. Well, I'll see what's happened here, because on the timing screen, Horston is shown as 2nd, because that's where he crossed the line. He's now been called up to 3rd. I thought there might be a bit of confusion between them. So he's going to get the 3rd place trophy. We'll find out about this. But according to the timing screen, which should be gold, he was 2nd. Anyway, they'll sort it out between themselves. The official results will be published. But confusion between the drivers. I weren't sure who was 2nd and who was 3rd either. because they got to think that far back when they cross the line. The winner, though, is Leighton Fury. Here is the South African national anthem. You see Leighton Fury soaking it all up there, just enjoying the South African national anthem. So there are the 3 wonderful trophies to be presented. And the third place trophy is going to be presented by Dominic Henschel, who works in the BMW M2 Cup. They always try and get people that work behind the scenes to get involved in the trophy presentation. So for now, question mark, third place trophy goes to Bart Horston. And Felix Möller from Isla, who look after the hospitality for the BMW Cup, presents the second place trophy to Max Rozam. Let's say they were both second and a half in that race. The winner, though, presented his trophy by Thomas Voss, is Leighton Fury. And what a weekend he has had. The only thing he didn't get this weekend was pole, but I mean, by 4,000th of a second, he missed out on pole for today's race. So great way to get it. There are the special trainers that they get. Bronze for third, silver for second, gold for first from Born Originals after each race. The tyres that you see underneath, they are actually trophies that will be presented afterwards back in the BMW paddock to the top 3 mechanics that work with each car. And they'll also have the rookie podium presentation back in the BMW M2 Cup paddock as well. They're looking to have a competition for fans to have some kind of treasure hunt, I think is the idea, around the BMW M2 Cup paddock at the Red Bull Ring. So we'll look forward to that in 2 weeks' time. But for now, a massive well done to Leighton Fury. He'll go to the Red Bull Ring in 2 weeks' time as the championship leader. Thanks for your company here at the Sachsenring. From me, Chris Hartley, and the team, it's goodbye for now.